take me to the water and I'll dive right in. I'm ready to let go of everything that's been. I said, take me to the mountain and I'll climb on up. From the highest peak, beauty's gonna fill my cup. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, yes, I say yes, I say yes, yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, I say yes, 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 knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. I throw routine right out the door. When I'm scared, I know it leads me to something more. Widen my gaze and see all there is. Take a leap of faith, I'm gonna find that bliss. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. Sing it with us if you know it. I say yes, yes, I say yes, I say yes, yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, I say yes, 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 knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. One more. I say yes, yes, I say yes, I say yes, yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, I say yes, 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 knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well. I say yes, I say yes, knowing all is well.
Well, good evening, everybody. Yes, we are here live and in person. And good evening to everybody who is also joining us online for our live stream. Welcome to New Thought Northern Colorado. I'm Lonnie Hickman, and I'm your practitioner du jour tonight. And I just want to welcome everybody and remind us that we gather together to express love and practice compassionate inclusion and acceptance. We are here to connect with one another and to connect with spirit. And as we come together knowing our purpose, that we are a powerful spiritual community lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, compassion, peace, and joy. So with that, I'm going to invite you just to join me in prayer. As your practitioner today, I'm going to open our service with prayer and some meditation, and then I'm going to scoot over to the side and just hold spiritual space and consciousness with us all for the remainder of our service. So, busy work taken care of. Let's take a breath. And we just settle within. We settle in for some prayer, some meditation, knowing that right here and right now we acknowledge the living and loving presence of the infinite spirit of life. We know that this spirit of life that we call God or divine mind or wholeness or life, this spirit is within us and all around us. And as we come together knowing this, I know that we truly are one community. And I give great thanks that our gathering this evening is one of inspiration and healing and joy and peace for every person who attends. I give thanks that Reverend Lea's words are inspired from the heart, and that they reach out and they touch each person here in exactly the way that we come desiring to be touched. I give thanks for our precious and sacred music, our wonderful musicians who Allow the joy and the harmony of being to flow through them. I give thanks for all the volunteers, everyone who is working technology and in this space to make this gathering a true experience of oneness for all. And I give thanks for the children of our community, knowing that as they gather also, they are filled with joy and gratitude, and that they are truly blessed in this coming together. So with great, great thanksgiving, I simply know that this evening is unfolding exactly as it should in divine order under grace. And so it is. And in this quiet space, let us stay with our attention inward, letting our attention move to that place within our own being where we feel our oneness with all that life is. As we breathe into this quiet space, we allow all the thoughts and concerns and cares and busyness of our day to simply lift and float away. We breathe and we relax and rest in that powerful presence within our own being and all around us. And as we feel this space, we can be filled with assurance that this presence is a divine energy that responds in and through and to and for us. That this creative presence acts upon our heart's desires. That this energy within us is without limit, infinite possibility. Loving fulfillment. The nature of this presence and power that we call God or Spirit is always expressing and expanding and moving through us and for us. And as we continue to breathe into this space, we can feel that powerful assurance of knowing that even when we are caught up in the chaos or the confusion of human conditions, that the living presence of Spirit is truly love. And it continues to move as us, through us, and for us in the grace of love that transcends all things. And so I rest and I trust in perfect knowing that all is well. And so easily and peacefully we bring our attention back to the energy of this room where we are. For those of us who are here together, and for each one who is praying with us and knowing with us from their own homes, we simply give thanks. And so it is.
All right. This is a song by Karen Drucker. It's on Power of Women is the name of the record, but I think it applies to all the rest of us too. It's called Beauty in You. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the child in you. I see the sweetness in you. I see the softness in you, and so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the goodness in you. I see the wisdom in you. I see the strength that's in you, and so it is. I see the joy that's in you. I see your light shining through. I see the love that's in you, and so it is. I can see it. It's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul. I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and pure sweet love. I see the grace that's in you. I see the courage in you. I see the heart that's in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, and so it is. I see the beauty in you, and so it is.
Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you, Jimmy and Julie, as always. Hello, everyone. So good to be with you. So good to see these lovely faces. Some faces we haven't seen in a while. Yay. Hello, hello. And hello to those online. So I'm Rev Lea Alvarado. Nice to be with you all. So let's harmonize our hearts and minds. Let's place our hands on our hearts and take some deep breaths. That sacred breath feels so good. Just breathing in, and let's say together, care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. One more time. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. So today's topic is about saying yes. And, I can't address this topic without talking about my parents. And the reason I'm going to talk about my parents is because, both my parents worked really hard when they were alive, and they made lots of sacrifices as parents and as human beings. They worked long hours on their feet, literally on their feet, because one was a bartender and one was a cocktail waitress. And they worked lots of nights and weekends and holidays. In fact, we would do Christmas on a different day because they had to work on Christmas. So, yeah. And, as I grew up and I observed them leading their lives and working the way that they did, I made a vow to myself at a pretty young age that I would pursue something I was passionate about. And not to say my parents weren't passionate about the work that they did, but in my little mind, I assumed that they weren't. So I made that choice at a very young age, and that I would go to college, that I would figure out what my passions were, and I would pursue them. And that's what I did. And so I essentially made the decision to say yes to my life and to live my life from a full place, live my life to the fullest. That was the decision that I made. And so today I'm going to talk about, what does it mean to say yes? What does it mean to say yes to your life? Bishop Yvette Flunder said, "There's no room for us to be anything other than our authentic selves." There's no room for us to be anything other than our authentic selves. When we're living our authentic selves, what are we doing? We are honoring who we are. Yeah, we're honoring the gifts that the divine has given us. The divine has blessed each of us with certain gifts. Certain sets of gifts that are unique to each one of us, that only we can express in the world. And it's like God said, all right, soul, you soul that has come into this world, I bless you with these certain gifts. Now go out and share them with the world. Go out and share them with the world. And no one expresses those gifts in the exact same way as we do. You may put two teachers right next to each other, you may put two ministers next to each other, or whatever that is, and yet they express it in their unique way. Yeah? So each of us has our own unique soul expression that is a beautiful expression in the world. We didn't come here as souls to hide who we are. We didn't come here as souls to compromise who we are, did we? We came here to express our divine potential and to say yes. Michael Beckwith said, at some point, you have to own up to how great you are, how beautiful you are, to how much inner dignity and potential you have. Drop complaining about what other people didn't give you or do for you, or how they mistreated you. Take repossession of yourself, and you will rise to a level of greatness that has been yours all along. And I would add to that, drop the stories that your ship has sailed. Drop the stories that you're too old, or it's long past, you don't have time, or any of those. Drop those stories. Whatever stories we're running in our life, they're keeping us from expressing our true self, expressing our authentic self. But letting go of the stories is only half the battle. Because I think fear is actually the biggest hurdle. I see a head nod there in the audience. Yes, thank you, Corey. Yes, fear is often the biggest hurdle that we deal with as humans. Yeah, it keeps us playing small. It keeps us playing small in the world and prevents us from sharing all that we are. Along my own journey in life, as I have said yes to certain things, it certainly has stirred up great fear within me at times. But I've learned to work with the fear. Doesn't mean that I always can manage it, because I'm human, but I've learned to work with it. When you're feeling resistance, how many of you have felt resistance in your life? Yes? Okay. 2 hands up, yeah. When we're feeling resistance, that's fear. There's fear there. That's a sign that fear is rearing its head there when there's any kind of resistance. And it's good to stop for a moment and notice. Our bodies are so intelligent. I can notice I'm feeling some fear. Where is that fear showing up in my body? Is it in my throat? Is it in my heart? Is it in my back? Where is it showing up? And then ask, where is this fear coming from? Because we assume that the fear is the thing that we're right in front of us. We're afraid of this thing right here, whatever that may be. But the fear is actually connected to something from our past. It's always about the past. It's never about what's right there. It's always connected to something from long ago. And so, to ask the question, fear, why are you here? Where did you come from? Because it didn't come from our divine self. That's not where it came from. It came from somewhere from the past. And so when we can identify that, we can have some freedom. We can have some freedom around it. And then the next question is, what is trying to emerge through me? This is a great Michael Beckwith question. What is trying to emerge through me when we're experiencing some resistance or some fear? What is trying to come through me? What is trying to emerge through me? Our divine self knows our true potential and will guide us to that which will bring us the most joy in our life. But we have to get out of the way. We have to get out of the way. We have to stop resisting and pushing against what is trying to come through us. Michael Beckwith created years ago 4 stages of spiritual growth, also known as the 4 kingdoms of consciousness. How many have heard of the 4 kingdoms of consciousness? Most of you. Okay, well, I'm going to remind us all what those are about. We've been talking about them in our spiritual economics class, and I think they're worth mentioning. So stage 1, we're a victim. We are a victim in stage 1. Everything is happening to us from the outside world. It's their fault. It's my boss's fault. It's my spouse's fault. It's the dog's fault, the cat's fault. It's the economy's fault. It's all outside of us and happening to us. Yeah, so everything is based on that. Blaming the outside world. Stage 2 is by me, which means that we're learning to manifest in this stage. We're learning the power of our thoughts, the power of our beliefs. We're learning that we actually can make some change in our life based on our thoughts and our beliefs. And we can manifest things at this stage. So we begin to practice spiritual principles. We begin to dive into our spiritual work at this stage. Stage 3 is through me. And that means that we've done some good work. We've gotten through stage 1 and 2. We've mastered some of our practices. And so stage 3, we are really living the principles. And we know that God is conspiring for us in this stage. We recognize that God is for us, not against us. And we're surrendering in this stage. We're trusting, we're allowing, we're letting go and letting God in stage 3. And then stage 4, as me, at this stage we feel and know our oneness with all beings. We know our oneness with the divine. We walk through the world a little differently. We have more peace as we walk through the world. And these stages aren't linear. It may start out that way when we first start our spiritual path. You remember when you were in stage 1? Before you found science of mind, or before you started reading spiritual books, you were in stage 1 perhaps. And then moved to stage 2 as you started to learn some things. And then stage 3 and stage 4 time to time in our spiritual practices, we might feel stage 4, but I suspect most of us aren't walking through the world in stage 4 all the time. We might be in stage 4, and then we go back to stage 1, and then maybe we're over to 3, and then 2, and then 4 for a moment, and then, yeah. So this is, everybody with me here? Yeah, this is kind of how we are, yeah, as humans. So when we say yes to life, which stage is that at? When we declare, yes, I want this in my life, I desire this in my life. Very good, Corey, yes. 2, starts at 2. We are in stage 2. We're making that declaration for our life. This is what I desire, this is what I want. But really saying truly yes is stage 3. Because in stage 3, we are surrendering, we are allowing, we are declaring what we want, and we are trusting that spirit and that divine flow is moving through us to create what it is that we desire in our life. Yeah? So we're saying to God, God, you have placed me exactly where I need to be and put exactly in my path the very thing that I need to support me in expressing my truest potential, my fullest potential. And so as we let go of the resistance and we let go of the fear, and knowing that God has our back, saying yes and all that we desire is possible. I've learned in my own journey that saying yes sometimes takes a risk. Saying yes in my life has meant changing careers, completely changing careers. Ending a relationship, going through a divorce, moving from one state to another, following my heart. My heart is telling me, go in this direction, and my mind is like, no. But trusting in that stage 3, we trust that the divine is flowing through us and knows exactly what we need next. Exactly what we need. So, we don't want to say yes to a path that's uncertain because we fear that we're not going to land on our feet. We fear that. We fear that we may fail or the outcome's somehow going to be negative for us. And so we choose to stay where we are. We choose to stay in that safe, comfy place, like that comfy little blanket over there that the girls have on their lap, yeah? So we're faced with decisions and choices all the time. There are safe choices. And then there's the ones that force us to step ever so slightly out from underneath that cozy blanket. And that's what's scary because it's unfamiliar. It's unknown, and as humans, we love the familiar. We love the comfy, cozy world. What I have found in my life is that the more courageous I am, the more that I push through those moments of discomfort and fear, the more that I'm willing to do that, even taking one little step. I don't mean 10 steps, just one step. The more I say yes to life, the more that life says yes to me. Life matches us. If we are saying yes, life says, okay, I'm right here with you. Some of you know that I had a really bad back injury a couple weeks ago. I mean, it was so bad I couldn't put socks on for 2 weeks. It was not good. I laid on my couch for 3 days and rested, which I needed. The universe is like, you will rest now. Okay, I will rest. So while I lay on the couch binge watching Ted Lasso, who has seen Ted Lasso on Apple TV? It's an amazing series. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. So I'm laying there watching episode after episode of Ted Lasso. And it occurred to me that, my back injury isn't just an injury, that it's connected to something emotional within me. So I turned off the TV and I sat with my pain. And I tuned into my pain, and what I realized is that what was going on in my back, there was a connection to some emotional stuff that had been carrying with me for a while, and there was some anger there. Because we know it's never just a back injury, right? We know it's never just some knee pain. There's a connection. So I tuned into my body, and as I recognized the anger and noticed that the anger was there, I did some journaling, I did some release work, I did some healing work. I asked, what is this about for me? And an interesting thing happened. The pain shifted. Didn't go away completely. I needed to go to my chiropractor and massage therapist and all those things too, but it did shift it. It absolutely shifted it in the moment. In the moment. So, as humans, we're really good at pretending that we don't see something, shoving it aside or judging it. I don't want this pain in my body. Why is this here? Why is this thing happening to me in my life? And so, when we're going through those things, we naturally want to shove it aside. We naturally want to ignore that it's there. But, saying yes to something, as I said yes to my back injury, it doesn't mean I'm saying I accept this. I love that my back is hurting. But instead, what we're saying is in that moment is, I see you. I see you, back pain. I see you, challenging thing in my life. I see you as a messenger of God showing up to say, look at me right now. Pay attention to what is happening in your body. Pay attention to what's showing up in your life. And when we do that, instead of this thing happening to me, it's happening through me. It's stage 3. Yeah? You with me? Yes, thumbs up. Corey, thank you. Yeah, so as we say yes to life, we allow more of the divine to flow through us. And when we're in that divine flow, boy, does it have a different energy, doesn't it? A totally different energy. We're not pushing against something. We're not resisting it. We're allowing it. We're in stage 3. We are allowing it. I got this image when I was writing this talk of pushing a boat upstream. Right? How often do we do that? I'll just keep pushing. I'm just going to get this boat up there. It's going to work. I'm just going to keep pushing this boat, and the water is coming. When all we have to do is turn that boat around, and then it just flows right on down the river. Yeah, life will always bring us to a doorway. Imagine a doorway. Always, there's that door. And we can turn that knob and cross that threshold, or we can stay on the other side with our hand on the doorknob just standing there. And sometimes we're not ready to cross that threshold, and that's okay too. I'm not here to say push yourself through all things, because sometimes, we're not ready for it. And that's perfectly fine. But, life will always present to us opportunities to say yes, constantly. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Yeah, we just have to say yes to it. Viktor Frankl spent 3 years in concentration camps in Nazi Germany. He lost his wife, his parents, and his brother. And in spite of the horror and the devastation that he experienced, he continued to have hope. He continued to say yes to life. He gave a series of lectures in less than a year after he was released from the camp. And they were compiled and translated into a book recently titled Yes in Spite of Everything. And the reason they titled it that is because he said that was his purpose. In his lectures, he said that my purpose on this planet is to say yes in spite of everything. And he also said this: to live meaningfully, we must hear the question that life is asking us right now. This is at the heart of saying yes to life. Life looks to us, to you, and asks, what meaning will you create in this moment? What meaning will you create in this moment? What if you walked through life and said yes to whatever was in front of you, no matter what it is that each of you are dealing with? What if you said yes to that very thing? So think about your life right now and the challenges that are there, big or small, whatever they may be. What would it look like? What would it feel like if you could say yes? If you could say yes to it. So it's up to us what meaning we give to the things that we experience, and how authentically we choose to show up in the world. A favorite poem of mine is called The Invitation by Uriah Mountain Dreamer. Many of you have heard this poem. I'm going to read just little bits of it because it's long. But I love this poem because it's truly an invitation to live an authentic life. She says this: "It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you have touched the center of your own sorrow, if you have been opened by life's betrayals or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. If you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours or mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back." Yes. Powerful stuff, yeah? So it's not our soul that holds ourselves back, is it? It's we. We do that. We do that. Elizabeth Lesser said, "The authentic self is the soul made visible." When we are tuned into the soul or divine self, we automatically move through life. We allow the divine flow to move through us. Rather than trying to make something happen, we let go and we let God. We're able to say yes to life because we're saying to the universe, you know the way. Divine essence of all that is, you know the way. So let's say this together. Repeat after me. Bring to mind first something in your life that maybe you've got some resistance around. So think of something that you've got some resistance around. And repeat after me. Divine Creator. You know the way. Move through me in whatever way you see fit. I let go. I surrender. And I receive. So imagine now you're standing in front of a doorway. So see the door, whatever that door looks like for you. So imagine you're standing in front of a doorway and you see the knob there. That doorway represents what's possible for your life right now. It represents that sacred yes. See yourself opening the door and crossing the threshold into something new. And as you step through the doorway, you feel the excitement of what is possible for your life. You release the past, you release the judgments, you release the resistance and the fear. You let that all go as you step over that threshold, walk through the door, and into the other side. Into the fullness and the greatness that the divine has bestowed upon you. And you say yes, enthusiastically, yes. And know that as you step into this new energy, this new experience in your life, you give permission for others to do the same. So let's say yes together to more abundance in our lives. Let's say yes to perfect health. Let's say yes to loving and supportive relationships. Let's say yes to the divine flow and allowing life to move through us. As we say yes to the challenges in our life, yes, let's say yes to those as well. Because we know that the divine essence of God is moving something through us, through those challenges, yes? Yes. As Joseph Campbell said, the warrior's approach is to say yes to life, yes to it all. Let's pray. And so we know in this precious moment, this precious time, that we are saying yes to life. I am knowing that even in the midst of challenges, I am knowing that God is moving something through us. That as we say yes, that life shows up for us in a new way. That we are able to release and let go and set aside the fears that are stopping us and the resistance that is stopping us from moving forward. We say yes with such grace and joy in our heart, trusting that the divine is there to catch us when we fall. We trust and know and surrender to that divine essence that always knows exactly what to place on our path, exactly where to place us and who to bring to us in the moment to assist us on this journey called life. I am knowing that we are surrounded and held and lifted up in this life. That whatever the challenges that we are facing, I am knowing that we are held in the arms of God, always and in all ways. And so with gratitude for the opportunities that are presented to us as we stand before that doorway, as we walk through that doorway and step over that threshold, I am knowing that there is an abundance of good things waiting for us. And so with that, with gratitude in our hearts, we let this go. We allow it to be. And together we say, and so it is. Amen.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
So we are supported by the generosity of our community. So we are so grateful for all that we receive from everyone. And there are a number of ways that you can give. You can visit our website at newthoughtnoco.org, or you can text to the following number, 970-614-4226, or you can always mail your gift to our office. And if you're here in person, we're going to pass this little basket. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. So let's place our gift on our heart or our energy, what we wish to give to this beloved community, and repeat after me. Spirit's abundance flows through me.
Spirit's abundance flows through me.
Joyfully, I share my good. Thank you, everyone. All right, so we want to thank those who have joined us online. Thank you for tuning in this evening. We're so grateful that you've been here with us. And so we're going to close out with a benediction and a closing song. And for those in person, we're going to move into a little discussion time. Thank you, Marie. All right, so receive these words. I'm going to just state our benediction and just allow these words to flow into your heart. May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed, and may you be a source of healing for all beings. So it is.
There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, there can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk, oh yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom, a knowing, a loving, and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Just say, until it shows, I'll pray. I won't move until I know, oh, that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. I can feel it, it's everywhere. I can see it, it's everywhere. Know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. Feel it, it's everywhere. Can't you see it, it's everywhere. Sing in your heart, oh yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, there can only be God's love. Oh yes, I know that I walk, oh yes, I walk in the love of God.
Woo! Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you those for tuning online. We will see you soon. Have a beautiful night. Thank you, everyone. So we are going to, I'm going over here to get my